Hi guys, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I have a delicious Greek olive oil cake for you that's going to be filled with apricots and almonds. It's perfect for tea or coffee. It's great to have on hand so you can have something to munch on or to serve your family or friends if they come over. Keeps fresh in the fridge for a few days and it is so easy to put together. Let's get started. So I'm going to be using my mixer today that's fitted with the whisk attachment. You can also do this by hand with a hand mixer or with a whisk and a big bowl. It'll come together easily. Like I said, there's no butter in this cake. It's made with olive oil, and the best olive oil to use for this is a light olive oil because it doesn't have too much of a heavy olive flavor. But if you do like that flavor, go ahead and use some cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. I tend to stay away from that when I'm making cakes, and I like to use the lighter olive oils. I'll put a link in the blog post where you can get one that I recommend. So in my mixer, I'm gonna put the wet ingredients. So you're gonna need 4 room temperature eggs. Now to bring them to room temperature, they didn't break. To bring them to room temperature quickly, you're gonna wanna put them in a bowl of warm water, and you could switch out that water a few times or leave them out for about an hour and they should be good. Then I'm gonna add 1½ cups of granulated sugar, 1 1/3 cups of light olive oil, a teaspoon of pure almond extract. Almond and apricot go very well together. And 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. And we're gonna whisk this together for about 3 minutes until everything is incorporated and fluffy. Now I'm gonna add milk. I have 3/4 cup of whole milk. Now you want that to be at room temperature too. And I'm just gonna whisk it all together until it's incorporated. Now we're gonna need 1 cup of chopped apricots. Now I like to use dried apricots for this because they're nice and sweet and they're gonna bake up a little bit chewy. I'm just gonna cut them up with a knife. That's the best way to do it. In little pieces, almost like the pieces that you get in a fruit cake, like the citrus peel. That's a good size. Now, if you don't have apricots or if you prefer to use something else, use your favorite dried fruit in this. Again, you could use a nice fruit cake mix in here if you want to give it a little bit of a holiday taste. You can use dried cranberries, even figs or dates are really nice in this. And if you want to leave the dried fruit out, leave them out and add lots of citrus peel in it, like citrus zest. Lemon zest or orange zest will work very nicely in this. So I'm gonna put the cup of chopped up apricots in a bowl. And now we're gonna need a cup of sliced almonds. I like the sliced almonds because they're very fine and delicate. They still add a little bit of crunch and nice texture to the cake without it being overbearing. So a cup is all we need. And I like to crush these a little bit more with my hand when I put them in the bowl. And for the dry ingredients, I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm gonna mix this all up. Just whisk it up. If you wanna pass it through a sifter, you can do that too. I've just not done that for a long time, and I've gotten used to just whisking my ingredients together. When we had the bakery, I never made a cake without sifting it, but at home, I'm a little more relaxed and it works out every time. Then I'm just going to take a couple tablespoons of the flour mixture and put it into the nut and dry fruit mixture. This is going to help the cakes stay afloat in the cake rather than sinking down to the bottom. Suspended is a better word. They're going to be suspended in the cake rather than getting down to the bottom and kind of sinking and burning. So that's all you need, just a little bit of that. And now with the mixer on low speed, I'm just going to go ahead and add the flour in a few batches. Each time the first batch is incorporated, I'm going to keep adding a little bit more at a time. And when almost all of the flour is incorporated, we're going to add the dry fruit. Actually, I'm not going to add the dry fruit. The dry fruit I'm going to fold in so it doesn't get stuck in the whisk. Let me stop the machine. If you add the dry fruit in while the whisk is attached, it's all gonna get, or much of it is gonna get stuck inside of the whisk. And then it's just gonna be a mess trying to get it all out. So the best thing to do is to just fold it in. So I'm basically just gonna add all of the dry fruit into the bowl. And with a big spatula, I'm just going to fold everything in. And try not to over mix it so you have a nice tender cake. Then I have a Bundt pan over here that I'm just gonna spray with baking spray. You can also brush it with some butter or with some olive oil. And I'm gonna transfer all of the batter into the pan. You want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The Bundt pan is going to go on the center rack, and it is a good idea to put a tray underneath it. It makes it much easier and safer to transfer in and out of the oven. And it's going to bake for 45 to 55 minutes or until a toothpick that's inserted in the center comes out clean. Every oven is different, so keep an eye on it. It could go up to an hour, so just you know it's done when the toothpick comes out clean or with some moist crumbs attached to it. You don't want batter. That's what you're looking for. I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. So the cake took about an hour to bake. At the 45-minute mark, that's the time to go in and check it and see if it's ready. Again, the toothpick needs to come out clean or with some moist crumbs attached to it. Once it comes out of the oven, then you're just going to want to loosen it so that way it can release easily from the sides of the pan and from the center if you're using a Bundt pan. Leave it aside at room temperature for about 20 minutes so it can cool a little bit. Then you can go ahead and invert it on a cake platter or on a serving plate or even on a cutting board. I like to serve it in a nice rustic way, but today I have this really pretty platter. And then I like to dust it with some powdered sugar. You can also make an icing if you want. A lemon or a citrus icing would go great, as would a vanilla or an almond flavored icing. Basically just some powdered sugar and some milk until it reaches the consistency that you like, and you drizzle it on top, or you can make a nice cream cheese icing. I'll put both of those options in the blog post so that way you can be in charge of how you're going to want to serve your cake and how you're going to want to decorate it. Serve this with some Greek coffee, cut a nice slice, put on a plate, and enjoy your coffee with this cake. It's going to be so delicious. If you don't want to use a Bundt pan, you can use a 10-inch round pan. That will work as well. Cheesecake pans like springform pans work well. I'll put all those options on the blog post once again, but I think it looks really pretty as a Bundt cake. Time to take a bite. Τέλειο. In Greek, that means perfect. It's light, it's moist. I love the little chewiness from the apricot. You get a slight crunch from the almonds. It just gives it a really nice rustic texture. I'm gonna take a little sip of Greek coffee to wash it down. Delicious. I'm gonna finish this slice of cake. You guys head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com, to print out this recipe. Let me know what else you want to learn how to make in the comment section down below. And if you want to learn how to make more delicious cakes, click on this annotation right here, and I will see you right over there. Yes, that's everyone.